God, that is the law. Whoa, what's that?
Hey,
Hey,
it's me.
Taylor. That's what Taylor looks like. Everybody, this
Yeah.
is my co-host, Taylor, the one who does all of our charting for us. Hello, Taylor.
Hi.
Good to see you. Look how long your hair is. My
I
God,
know.
I didn't
I
know.
pulled it back so I wouldn't mess with it.
My goodness. Hello, everybody. I'm John Zidar. This is Taylor, as you now know. We are here for the next hour, hour and a half, looking at stocks that you want us to look at. I know if you're not here yet, you're probably not going to hear this, but if you are here now, don't go dropping any tickers in. We got all the tickers we can handle. Thieves won. Dude, can't get to any of those. We have got all of our tickers before 4 o'clock. I put out a tweet at about noon and I said, get your tickers in early. And you guys swamped me. 1 minute there was no comments. The next I looked, not only was there a list of tickers, but Taylor was in there getting it all managed and getting them in a queue for me. It was like, wow. So we've got a lot of information to cover here. I'm going to try to be quick and fluid, but I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to be an auctioneer talking too fast. That can happen. If it does, Taylor, tap me, slow me down.
And when I'm looking this way, I'm not ignoring. I'm looking at the chart.
We
I've got 2
understand.
screens.
We've been doing this a long time.
Well,
She's fresh onto the camera.
I'm
folks.
normally not on the screen, so just
Yeah, so
FYI.
she's got shock right now. So let's deal with her. We'll break her in nice and easy. So I wanted to let you guys know cannabis is getting hot. I'm probably going to want to talk more about cannabis. So what's going to prevent me? Well, I just discovered the other day when I put out my Tilray video, it got more attention than most of my videos, which is saying something. And I wanted to see how much I was making. As a YouTuber, I do this for money, though I don't really make a lot right now. I make maybe $30 a month. Woohoo! Well, I went to check on it. It has almost 500 views. Guess what? I get nothing for any cannabis stocks. They won't pay for cannabis stocks. So you talk about cannabis, you just get nothing. So anytime I do a cannabis stock, I'm doing it for free. I'm doing it for you. That would be the only reason I'm doing it. So if you ever see me doing a cannabis stock, thank me. It is a gift. All right. We have a lot of tickers to jump into here, and we had a lot of people show up. Like I said, a bunch of you came early. Let's see, we got MBS. I want to say, MBS, I appreciate your long-winded comments. I do. I'm not making fun of you. You give me extra information. So when I'm doing my due diligence, I've got a heads up or a curveball and I know what to do, where to step. You were talking to LT, that's Taylor,
That's me.
and you made a comment about AI with one of the companies. Well, I wasn't aware of CM Tech in that party. That's what it was. Well, that helped me do a little more research. So I'm giving you more bang for your buck. So if you do have a ticker you want me to look at, folks, and you know something's going on, put it in there. Help me help you. You know, there's 2 very big lines in that movie, Jerry Maguire, and we love them both. Show me the money. And then the other one, help me help you. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So MBS is here. S. Veg Smith was here early. Am I all the way back? I am. S. Veg Smith, LT jumped in there very quick, took care of everything. Kashera, thank you, Kashera. I can count on you. Belmore, you're back early. We're glad to see you, and I got you covered. Your ticker did make it in there. We have the underdog. I think you're going to be the cutoff for us, and you were before 4 o'clock as well. PTPI. That's going to be a stretch, though. That will be the most we've ever covered. I can hear you. Get to it, John. Get to it.
No. I was switching my camera around.
Bringing in a bunch of them here. You might want to look at these comments, folks. Even if we don't bring them up, we've got viewers bringing us in tickers that they want to share. So if I don't get to it, they still want to share them with you. So get down to those comments and see what people have done. Just do a little DD. You see how quick DD can be done. Speaking of quick DD, let's get the hell over there. All right, click me, hun. That's your job, Taylor. Click me.
I did.
I'm ready. Okay. I can't remember everybody in the right order, but I do have your tickers in the right order. And this was MBS, I believe it was, Spoozy, who also had another one. And we're going to look at it as well. So Spoozy, this is ticker SPZI, Spoos Inc. finished the day at 0072, was up about 1.5%. She's on the pink tier, bottom tier of the OTC, the riskiest. The reason it's risky, there's no validated information down there. Financials are just numbers they toss at us. No CPA looks at them. This verified profile and transfer agent verified are normally the only validated information you get with the pink. That's why I make such a big deal about them. Other sites aren't going to tell you if they have a validated profile or transfer agent. And who's doing that validating? The OTC markets. This is their job. They're a business. They're on the OTC. You can invest in the OTC markets if you want. They are also considered a shell risk. We'll see if that's true. That means they're in business. They claim they're doing something to make money, but they're not reporting any revenues. That's not a good thing at all. So what we've got here is they tell us that SPOOS is in the process of changing its name to JP3E Holdings. The 3E actually stands for the three industries they're involved in: energy, eatables, and education. And for some reason, they snuck in real estate there next to education. They've got two wholly owned subsidiaries, Energy Global and Energy Group. And the purpose of Energy Group is for buying and selling food, such as sugar and chicken paws. We're talking about chicken paws again. Chicken paws are just the actual portion of the foot, no extra limb to it. I think that's actually called the chicken foot. And there's a big market for it over in China. Now, it seems to me we've looked at this company before because I remember some of the news. Jumping over to that news, and I hope my highlights hold out here, folks, because I got about 40 pages opened up here and a lot of information I've saved. Okay. So, looks like Spoozy made a change of control to JPE3 back in December of 2023. Then they started making deals immediately. This was December. This is also December. That's 9 days later. $90 million deal executed. Not talked about, not letter of intention, executed. $90 million deal. On the 5th of January, we're talking 6 more days, 2 weeks from the time the company took over. Here's another deal. Executed. $303 million. We're up to almost $400 million they've already brought into the company. And the thing is, nothing's on record yet. Those revenues are due right now. That's the excitement. All the money we're looking at is about ready to be shown to us. We got more news up here that they secured U.S. Department of Homeland Security EB-5 program and procures the acquisition of CIG International. Really hard to get to the bottom of what this is. I really tried, but what I could see was it opens up the door for them to do big dollar business. They say this opens up the door to a $99 billion market a year. And most of that is done here in the United States. And what it actually helps them do is procure their products as if they own them and they're not just the middleman getting a piece of the pie. And it's changed the whole game for them. That's why they have these huge, gigantic orders. Spoozy, new $617 million fully executed sugar commodity contract. What are we up to now? Isn't that $1 billion? 400 million, 600 million. And this is the 5th of February. We are 1 month, 2 weeks into the new occupation, and they got $1 billion on the books in revenues. And we ain't seen the financials yet. JP3 and Akiro Futures enter strategic alliance agreement. I think this had something to do, again, with contracts so that they can work overseas. Don't quote me on that. There's so much information I had to go through. Then we've got another chicken paw deal here for $182 million. Revenues upon shipment. I don't know if they're shipping it or not. But you get my drift here? A ton of money is already on the books, being generated very quickly. These aren't small orders. These are huge, giant orders, most of them going to China, and they've got permission. I remember reading that somewhere. They've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's and have permission to actually do business with China. So I like the fact they got $1 billion in basically a month and a half. What other information did I find here? I jumped into one of these. Oh, we did talk about the alliance. The alliance positions both companies to be key players in an infrastructure development to revolutionize data centers within 7 regions across the U.S. The international initial deployment of the technology will be in New York, Kokomo, Indiana. This strategic agreement aims to integrate Acreo's Future's patented serverless cloud native technology into JP3E's upcoming data center. Revenue in the data center market is projected to be $99 billion in 2024. In global comparison, most revenue will be generated in the United States. They're going into the cloud. And folks, anytime you get into the cloud, it opens up many more avenues that you can go into because you're not going through one server line. It's serverless. You can seep out everywhere out of a sponge. There's no one direct route. So we've got a lot going on here. Let me see. The last piece of news I pulled up here.
What was the thing you said about December?
December was their closing. That's when
Okay.
change of control came into play.
Okay.
And Suzy became JPE3.
Gotcha.
And this is telling us they've hired an auditing company to do their financials. They're doing an audit of their financials. I do believe that they need 2 years to uplist. And that's what they say they're all about right now. We understand the importance of becoming SEC filing company with the audited financials. We are expecting to deliver substantial numbers, no kidding, for revenues and net income. Having audited financials, which is better than Pinks. That's what I said. You don't even get audited financials with Pinks. Will add an extra layer of credibility that's needed in today's market. Folks, I like the OTC, but I really come to despise Pinks because you can't trust a word they say. You got to take their word for everything, and they're in it for $1 too. And you think they're going to give away $1 just to be nice? I don't think so. To be disclosed in the very near future will be the shipping and delivery of the chicken paws, sugar, and more to enable the company to report these substantial revenues for 2024. So there's a lot going on right now, folks. So what was the relative volume around the company today? Dropped a little bit, down about 2 million, going from 14 million down to 12 million. Share structure for Spoozy. Whoa, way too many shares. I'm not happy about that. And if they're going to do an uplist, and I guarantee you they're going to do a reverse split, they'll probably have to do the reverse split just to do the uplisting. They did say in that letter, I moved through it so quick, initially their first uplist is to the QB. Ultimately, everybody wants to get to the major exchange, but they're definitely serious about getting to the QB. You got to be at least a penny to be on the QB. Now, you don't need no bloody reverse split from here to get to there. But if they get there quick and things start moving rather nicely for them, they may jump to the NASDAQ real quick. And I will guarantee you there's going to be a big reverse split. You got to be at least $3 to get on to the NASDAQ. I do believe it's $4 if you want to go to the New York Stock Exchange. Which would they choose? Well, I think it's like $75,000 a year to be on the NASDAQ and something like $250 million to be on the New York Stock Exchange. So a little company would probably go to the NASDAQ. Our market cap, we got about $41 million in this company. What are the financials? We don't have any information yet. That's the whole bottom line here. And I mean, it doesn't matter what we look at. It's just they were a shell company waiting for something to happen. Yes, they are shell risk because they're in business. They're telling us, and they're not showing us any revenues. Well, it's not their fault. Financials aren't out yet. It isn't fair to actually penalize them. And that's what that is. That is a penalized right there. That is a tag, and they shouldn't be tagged that because they haven't even put them out yet. And they're due right now. I don't know what day, but everybody is coming out right now. And I am very excited to see this one. Totally forgot about this company. So thanks for bringing this up to us, MBS. See if there was anything over here in the disclosures. Not a single one. So let's go take a look at that chart.
Okay. So I just noticed, this is why I asked about December, because this is when the run started. So from February until December, we were between 0001 and 0003, just consolidating, nothing happening. And there aren't any earnings reports. There's nothing like that. There's no reverse splits or anything that I saw. So this run, I'm on the daily chart. So let's go to the 4-hour. I noticed I marked off a few little areas that I thought were interesting. Like right here, we have some support, really good support around 005. to 0055. So right around there, we've like every time we hit there, it comes right back up, right back up, right back up. And then we have a little bit of resistance here at the 0085 area. Here it's happened here. So once we jump past that, it does run a little bit. So the highest we've gotten was in January, and that was actually just over a penny, which is incredible considering we were at 0001 just in December. So that's a
That's a
month
solid
later.
10. That's a solid 10,000% gains
Yeah,
from there to there.
that's just wild.
And
So
just
right
so that
now,
puts it in perspective, folks, what that means is every $100 bill at 0001 would have been worth $10,000 at a penny.
it's unbelievable.
You can take the rest of the
Unbelievable.
day off, maybe even the week.
Yeah. So so on the 4 hours, you can see we're kind of we had this big run here from December till January. And then we just kind of came back down and we've hit these spots a couple times. We've hit it again.
Yeah, there's been a
So
lag, sure.
yeah, so we kind of traded sideways like the middle of February and into the beginning of March. We did hit this support area again, and it came right back up. So this is a really good support area. You see this, this I've marked it off 0005 to 0055, give or
No
take.
doubt she's been an uptrend. What's our 15-minute look like on that?
15. This is what 15 looks like. So see,
Look at that. See, I like that. She went sideways for a long time.
in that area though, and it picked it right back up.
Up at the top there, when she drops down to her 50, to me, that looks like, well, I'm biding time. Up at her high, up at the very top there, she goes sideways until she drops to the 50. And it's like, I'm not waiting around for this 50 to come to me anymore.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I'm ready to start running. So it tags it and it goes like WW wrestling, and that's the way that looks to me. That could be scary, but I get the feeling this is going to take off hard, and this is going to be the springboard right there. When those financials come out and they say we brought in $1.4 billion our first 3 months, oh my God.
Yeah, so once we got past that little pickup area between 005 and 0055 and jumped up above that and above the 200, as you can see, this is on the 15-minute chart. I mean, look at all these golden crosses right here. There's at least 1, 2, maybe 3 here. There's another. So all of them are now in line on the 15-minute. It's kind of going sideways right now, so I'd like to really see it come back up to this 0085.
Look in on that 5-minute just to see what it looks like for tomorrow.
So kind of sideways-ish.
Yeah, tough. I really don't like the 5-minute at the end of the day because things look like they're dangling. They're just ready to fall off the tree. But that 15-minute shows us she's sitting on that 50-day.
Yeah,
she's ready
right here.
Yeah, she looks safe there. That looks strong to me.
Yeah, right here.
So I'd watch this one, folks. Definitely put it on your watch list. You may even want to consider an entry in this. To me, these revenues are explosive. First 3 months in business, you were there doing the math with me. It's over $1 billion. Isn't that exciting for a pink?
Yeah.
A shell company? Oh, my God. All right, how about we move on to the next one now?
Let's do that.
Let's do that. I got it lined up. I do. This is OCGN, also from MBS. I'm a nice guy today. This is Ocugen. Finished the day at $1.34, up 8% on the NASDAQ. So what is this company about? I jumped into one of their filings, actually, to get this. Ocugen is a biotechnology company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing. That means their research and development. Novel gene and cell therapies, biologics, and vaccines that improve health, offer hope for patients across the globe. Nothing real specific there, but you see they're a biotech in research and development. Now, what did I find for this company? Okay, looking at their news. I see that they had 2 trials here, and at first I thought it was just repeating the news, but you notice the drug they're talking about here has an ST on the end of it, and this one doesn't. So now I know I've got 2 separate trials going on here. I don't know exactly what these are all about, but both of these trials have completed dosage for all their subjects for their first and second cohort. It's good news. It's good news. I think I opened up one of them just so we could see what the drug does. They tell us it is a modifier gene therapy candidate being developed for geographic atrophy, an advanced stage of dry age-related macular degeneration. That sounds like something in the eye. I'm not a doctor. GA affects approximately 1 million people in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that doesn't sound like a lot of people. I mean, 1 million people, that's not a huge market. You either got to be charging a lot of money, because I'm telling you, it costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to devise these drugs. You just wouldn't believe how much money it costs. So when the drug first comes out, it's expensive. Well, if there's only 1 million people, how are you ever going to make enough to make any money out of it? So to me, it seems when they come out with these drugs that have very few patients, it's to open the door. Normally, it's an unmet need, and that gets fast-tracked. That gets orphan designation, which means the FDA pushes it through a lot quicker. Once you have it done for that problem, you can come back and say, well, it also helps this, 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 and this. Well, you've already got it through all those first stages. Now you can throw those other ones in and bypass all that extra study and just get them approved from that point on. And now you've got multiple indicators for one drug. And that's what a lot of these companies do. Find a very obscure disease that has very few patients, get the door open with that drug because it meets unmet needs. So what was the relative volume around this company today? Something going on. Look at that. Jump from 8 million to 29 million today. We better find a bloody catalyst. Share structure. We got about 250 million shares outstanding. No clue what the float is. Could be 250 million. Could be a lot less. Market cap, 318 million. What's this company making for research and development? Nothing the last couple of years and nothing this year. They're not making any money. That means they're spending money. If you're in research and development, you are spending money all the time. And if you don't have a product to bring revenues in, where are you getting that money? You're getting it from your investors, whether it be the small guys like us through public offerings or big guys making huge investments into the company. Balance sheet. They got money in the bank, 53 million. Total assets, 74 million. Not much in liabilities, 16 million. So we've actually got positive stockholder equity in this company of 58 million. See if we have any disclosures over here. We do. Let me see if I had some notes on this to make it easy on myself. 8Ks or change of personnel. Yeah, there's a lot of 8Ks here. We're talking about inside management. We're talking about accountants, things like that. They changed a lot of management. We've got a little while ago, not too far, a couple of SC13Gs. These are always good news. The A at the end means they're amended, something they had to fix. So they probably came from somewhere back. But this is when someone comes in and becomes a new owner. They could be a silent owner. That would be a 13D, I believe it is. 13D as a silent owner just puts in money. 13Gs, these are active owners. They bring in money, buy shares, and they want a voice. And this person got themselves 4.6% of the business. Let me see anything else there. Nothing. So I do believe that covers everything except
there was nothing, no news in February 20th.
I'm running over here to the news because first off, I got nothing here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have got no news here. Now, that doesn't mean there's nothing absolutely out there. I can't go everywhere. And there's a lot of places. Sometimes it could just be a periodical, a journal. It could be an article. It's not always a press release or a filing, just being talked about by the right person. Let Trump say something about you and you could run, stuff like that. But she is starting to push up right now. So that's all we got right here except the chart. Let's take a look at that, Taylor.
Make sure we're okay. Make sure I'm looking at the right chart. So this is the 4 hour. So first thing I did was I was looking at these.
That's not bad.
They estimated last year that we were going to have $2.17 million revenue, zero. They have reported zero revenue. All of them. All of them. And we're getting ready to have another one next Thursday, the 28th. So I don't know, maybe someone knows something, which is why this is happening. Who knows? But I noticed this this was in early February. This came down right to the 200 on the 4-hour chart. The low looks like it was around 35 cents, and now we're at about 132. And I kind of see a little bit of what could be potentially a cup and handle pattern here, potentially. See, we already have this red bar.
The 12th and 13th of February and March, those were the two catalyst days where they came out and said they had completed the cohort for trialing.
Yeah, so after that, there was that big run, and it went all the way to $1.50. And so before that, it was at 58 cents. So that was, you know, nearly 100% gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why she would run on financials. I'm not expecting any money. They don't have anything yet. You know, they're still in trials.
I'm just saying maybe someone knows something, because there is, you know, they are going to be reporting something. They do have an earnings estimate, but that might not mean anything. Who knows? Let's look at the 1 hour. Looking about the same ish.
Come down to the 20. Is she sitting on top of that 20?
Yeah, so all of these EMAs are lining up, which is also, this just obviously favorable. I mean, since the 19th, we've just been running here, and I think this could be the handle of that cup and handle potentially. It's a odd looking one.
Absolutely.
But it could be.
But it was healthy. That to me looks like a healthy dip. She was starting
very healthy pullback. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I do like that. And we've had a lot of volume. So
how about the short-term chart?
This is 15 minutes drop down to there. So
it's fighting to get back up on the 50.
It's fighting to get back up. But see, we've got, you know, a death cross here and a death cross here. So these are not lining up that well. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to just come back up, because see, you can see in this is after hours trading, we're coming right back up, and this is on the NASDAQ, so it does trade after hours. Pre-market, it tends to move more pre-market, or like very early in the
I see a lot of activity after market and pre-market on this stock.
Pre-market, a lot of these will run pre-market. A lot of these will, like,
I see a lot of gains after market. It's like 3 out of 4 days there, she was climbing after market. Yeah. So all right. So she's looking like she could bounce. Financials might be a catalyst. I don't know why they would.
It could be. That's what I'm saying. Maybe someone knows something. That's why it's starting to run like a week before these earnings are coming out. So that could be something. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying run and play earnings, but a lot of people do like to at least look at that. So it's something to at least look at, see if they maybe are going to report some revenue, if they're going to report, you know, some forward guidance or something like that. You know, it's just something that a lot of people are interested in.
All right. Next. We've talked about this one before, but it was requested and first come, first serve. You know, just because you talked about it once doesn't mean you can't talk about it again. If it's hot, it's hot. You know, you keep talking about what's hot. That's why Roseanne Barr kept doing silly stuff all the time. She wanted to stay hot, not that kind of hot, you know, just media hot. So we're looking at PWDY, Powerdyne International, finished today at 002, down over 9% on the bottom tier. The pink, she's only got one piece of validated information, a transfer agent. It's important. She doesn't have that verified profile. Now they tell us down here that Powerdyne is a electric generation technology company. Not really. That's not, I mean, I guess they are. They do generate power with their motors. That's what the company is really known for. And it was through an acquisition in 2022, I believe it was. They got Creative Motion Technologies. We call them CM Tech. CM Tech is a small New England-based motor manufacturer founded in 2004 and has been in business for 17 years. They make motors, brushless and brush motors, just your everyday average motors that we use for all kinds of things. They tell us here that now, well, in the information I've been reading, what's going on is that we are coming into the robotic age. We're making a lot of robots. Robots have moving parts, every elbow, all these fingers, motors of all different sizes go in those places. Our robots need motors. And the motors are now being equipped with AI chips. We don't want a robot that just sits there. It's got to be smart and know what to do. And not all robots are people walking around. I've seen robots that fold clothes. It's nothing but two arms, and you put your laundry in front of it and it folds your clothes. No, I'm not kidding you. It has fingers and everything, and it's really good. I seen one for your kitchen. It goes on your island. It's just one arm, but it's got fingers and it grabs ingredients and it stirs and does all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow.
So they need motors for all of that. Well, right now, this company has contracts with the chip manufacturers, not the robot factories, but the chip manufacturers who have the motors come in and they outfit the motors with these AI chips. And then they send them out to the robot companies. Well, they're in the supply chain. It doesn't matter if it's the robot company buying them or not. They are getting there ultimately. So this is a market that is going to explode because robots are going to be made for every single thing somebody doesn't want to do or just wants to show off that they don't have to do. Robots are going to be a huge thing, and you're going to need billions of motors. However, the company also has another little business. I mean, real small, but hey, it's making money. Included with CM Tech acquisition is Frame One, which is a custom picture framing shop located in North Reading, Massachusetts. Little brick and mortar business. They're making money, and that's really all that matters. Anything you do, if it's profit, it's profit. You keep on doing it. No harm done. So what was the relative volume around this company today? Whew. It's jumping more than double. And she wasn't under the radar. She was here at about 15.5 million as an average over the last 30 days. Today, she did over 36 million. Share structure for Party. A lot of shares. 1.8 billion, which is virtually everything that they have. Chances are they're going to want more shares. Do they increase the authorized shares in a shareholder vote? Scare us by just building that up and up? Or do they do a reverse split? Push that price up? Getting close to a penny. Maybe time if they have any success that they see on the future and get some of those shares back into that authorized bank. It's a possibility. Insiders own a lot of them, and they'll go through that reverse split right with us. It's not like it escapes them. They've got 750 million shares. We get all the rest, 1.1 billion. Market cap with all those shares is just barely over 4 million. Market cap is figured out by taking all those shares and multiplying it times the price. Voila, market cap. Financials for the company. Well, we're going to go by these numbers. They're what?
Oh, nothing.
We have money coming in strong in the last, that's 2022. That's quite a ways ago. So we don't have anything for 2023. 2022, we were at $1.2 million. We got 3 zeros up here. We got to throw behind any numbers. And they got to bring home 406,000. Quarterly, yeah, they're still making money. 34426. Well, they're doing roughly between 3 and 500,000 every quarter, and they're bringing home profit. It's steady revenues. It doesn't show any growth right now, but it's steady. Balance sheet, not much money in the bank, about $8,000. Total assets is very light, 273,000. Those 3 zeros come over here too. Oh, total liabilities is more than 273,000, which was our assets. So we are holding negative assets, which is called deficit, of $63,000. We're just floating. Our head's under the water right now, but we're not drowning. We're going to come back up here in a second. Disclosures. We got anything over here? 8K from 119. Can't remember what this is for. Changing their accountant. See, I saw this right here. That's all I looked at. I didn't speed read all that. I saw that and boom, I'm out of here. And that's how I do my fast due diligence. I just jump in and jump out as fast as I can if I don't see the headline I want. Oh, what's this? That's a financial. Oh, that's a financial. This is November 2023. Let's see if there was anything here. Now, the one thing I do want to check since I'm here. Oh, they're not going to have it, are they? Now that I'm here. I'm looking to see. Nope, it's not. Yes, I do want to make sure about the share structure. You can always find it in this blue area here stockholders deficit, common stock. It'll tell you how many authorized shares they have, and then it'll give you two numbers for one period and another period. Just make sure you read the right period. We have I'm in the stairs as of, and it didn't change, 1.8 billion. So that's the right share count, folks. All right. I don't think there was anything else I needed to share over here except to let you know now that the last time we talked about this, we knew nothing about robotics. We knew nothing about AI chips. At least I didn't. Maybe some of you did. And that's the thing. Doing this quick DD that we're doing, things do get overlooked. That's why it's nice to go to Twitter and do a search. There's 100 eyeballs over there at least doing research. You can at least get a heads up on something. Save yourself some time. Let other people do work. Go over to Investor Hub. Just look at the comments and see if you missed something. And of course, there's always Google, but you got to use your filters. You could spend some time there. All right, let's take a look at PWDY on the charts.
Okay, we did look at this last week. That's why I had this pointed out. That's all the arrow means. So I had these lines already drawn. This was, a good support area until we broke it. Then we had this other line that was a support, and then it was a resistance. Now see, we broke through that and came up to the next one, and that was on the 14th. Now I'm on the daily chart, by the way. So I said, if we got to break through that one. We did completely break through it and came up almost. We are very close to this next resistance, which was back from the last summer. So we could potentially keep running until we hit that, but we're pretty close right now. So I would expect it to at least bump its head on this and come back down.
I would think that's where you would see the crash. I mean, unless there's a driving catalyst, because the price is way too far from the SMA. It's stretched. The rubber band's as far as you can really stretch it. You got to expect it to come back, and it's going to hurt because it's going to be a good drop or a bad drop.
This is a major one here, a major resistance. We hit it several times. So this was a big one. We got through that one. This was a major one for a long time. We got through that one. But this one, I don't expect it to just blast through it. It could, obviously. I mean, anything can happen. But I would expect it to hit here and come back down and kind of like reset and then maybe come back up to it, or even come back down to this area here, because that was a major one. That was a major reason.
15-minute look pretty.
So
I mean, there's not any red there. Are you on Heikenashi's?
Yes.
Okay, I knew it looked pretty. I'm thinking, man, that looks pretty.
Sometimes I look at regular candles because I like to find the gaps and things like that. But yeah, these are regular candles. So the 15 minutes looks pretty good. So as you can see, we did hit that resistance. We hit it, and then on the 19th we got past it and kept it, and we even came back down and hit it exactly. But look, we followed that 9 all the way up here.
Yeah.
And a few times we dipped, and right now we're kind of in that sideways. What worries me about the 15-minute is we kind of see a triple top right here. So not really loving that.
What I see there is a W from your triple top, a W, like which should have been a rise, but it didn't. It fell, which to me is a divergence. So I would expect to drop. As I said, on your 4-hour chart, it's a rocket. It's way up there.
Yeah.
So there's a buying opportunity coming. That's what I see.
Yeah, if it comes down to this 0013-ish area, that would be a really good buying opportunity, because that was a big resistance. So as you know, resistance will then become support.
Right.
So if this is a support, that'd be a good time to get in. Now these SMAs are all, messed up on the 15-minute.
That's not looking bad right there, actually. I mean, she went sideways and she found that 50. She's laying on it. She's not cutting through it, So to me, it's not out of control yet. It's worth watching.
1 hour looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like, we had a run and we're just kind of cooling off, which is healthy. We don't need it to just keep blasting and it become completely overbought.
Wait for that 20 to come up underneath it so she has something to stand on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a good one. When we pointed out, whoever pointed it out, I don't remember exactly who it was. Sorry. But great run there after that.
Oh
So,
yeah, great run. And
yeah, for
now,
sure,
now we
obviously.
see potential for the future. Because honestly, when I looked at this last week, I'm thinking brushless motors. We've had those for over 100 years. Picture frames. We've had those for thousands of years. And
Yeah.
this is a business we want to invest in. So I really didn't see anything there. Not that there's anything wrong with steady business that's been around forever. The guy that makes wheelbarrows is probably doing real good. But when you see that they're moving into the future and every robot could have 100 motors in it, this could be a big explosive thing for the company.
Yeah. So, that's all I'm gonna say about, PWDY. We'll move on to the next one.
I'm sure PWDY will come back again.
It will, I'm sure, yeah.
We are now taking a look at KYNC. No, LT didn't bring this up. I think this was Kashera. If my memory serves, I'm looking at pictures in my mind right now. I got a
No,
lot of
it was S. Veg Smith.
S. Smith. That's right. That's right.
I
KY.
just wrote them out to make it easier for us to get them on the queue.
Great. KYNC, I've never heard of them. I didn't know who they were because they are kind of outside of my forte. KYN Capital Group finished today at 0005, way down there. This is about the only time I would start to look at a 000 stock. You got to hit 5 before you even catch my attention. It's like waiting for a 17-year-old girl to turn 18 before you look. Don't even look. You got to wait. Well, it hit 5. Now I'll look. Don't know what's up with this stock. And that's because she is involved with a crypto platform. They sell NFTs, tokens, gold and silver, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I think about 75, could be more coins than that. So they do that sort of thing. And I think that's exactly what I found when I was looking over here at their news. It is CoinFold. That is their app. And it seems to be available everywhere. iPhone, Android, Google, Apple, and it seems like just here on the 30th of January, they finally got into the iOS store. They have also attached a physical debit card to it, a physical card, and that's what they're doing. They just keep making advancements and improvements and making this thing better and better. And all the news here is about that. I don't see anything else here except that, but I don't see anything bad either. Taking a look at the relative volume for the company. Oh, that's bad. What the heck happened there? She dropped. Her relative volume was closing in on 15 million a day. Now, when we say an average, you got to take 30 days, average it all together. They came up with 14.5. That means you have to have some days with a heck of a lot more than 15, as you do with some being very little. Well, if she was a lot more than 14 and 14 is her average and she's down under a million, why? That's something I would be looking around for. Share structure for KYNC. Bloody heck, we keep finding these stocks that have so many shares. She is on the pink. She is current, and she's got all her validated information. Thank God for that. But she's got a lot of shares here. She's got about 6 billion outstanding. Insiders only own 114 million. We got all the rest, 5.8 billion shares. You have to be leery of a reverse split. I'm never leery of them if they're down in the 000. I can't actually remember the last split I seen happen when a company was at 000. Normally they wait till they're closing in on a penny because that's when people are watching stocks. That's when the stock probably has some value. Down here, it's not getting a lot of attention because it probably hasn't got a lot of value. But
They did have a reverse split, but it was back in 2015, and it was a 1 for 1,600.
Okay. Wow.
So,
and this is what we were left with after that.
just saying.
Now, between 2015, 16, they could have had
I mean,
a lot of public
it was
offerings.
right when it came on.
They could have been putting shares on the market for the last 7 years, which I'm sure they have. That's just part of business. Market cap for the company is really small considering all those shares they got, 3.2 million. Financials for KYN. Oh, come on. They've been around for a while. They had money coming in 2018, 2021. Where's those 2 years in between? Nothing in 2022. Quarterly, we got nothing for the last year. Now, how do you have a digital platform selling cryptocurrency gold that has physical credit cards that sells Bitcoin and you haven't made a penny? Okay, they made a penny. They made $6,000 in September. It just doesn't seem right. It seems like an awfully lot of work and a lot of news for very little coming out of it. What's the balance sheet look like? Look at that. $8,000 in the bank, 331 in assets, lots of liabilities. Now, how do you have a lot of liabilities when you have a digital platform? I have been selling digital products for a long time online, and I love it because I don't have to buy products. I don't have to have storage. I don't have to have a warehouse. It's a digital bloody product. I don't have to ship it. It's on the computer for free. It's nice. How do they have all that liability? So we're going to be holding deficit here, $1.7 million in deficit. Let's see if we got anything in disclosures. I'm sure I looked over here. Nothing since 2015, back when they had that reverse split, I guess. And we have their quarterly reports all caught up in September. We got one of those coming out. That is due right now, though I wouldn't have any expectations of anything being there. And again, there's nothing over here at the news. So I see business. I see they've got a lot of stuff going on with their platform, but where's the money? Is nobody using your platform? Are you not advertising it? How many downloads have you had? I think we saw a piece of news back here. Look at that. Back in September of 2022, they had 1,000 downloads of CoinFold. It's not a lot of downloads, folks. 1,000. So bottom line is there's no money to be seen here for a lot of work for something that looks good headline wise. I'd have to do some more due diligence to see where the value is here. Now I'm real curious to see what the chart looks like.
Okay. It's interesting-ish. Very barcodey.
Yeah, triple zone.
I'm on the daily chart, so we bottom out at around 0002, excuse me. Kind of came up. We ran the end of December, but what I don't like about this is this. You can recognize that pattern.
Yeah, it's already doing it though, isn't it? I mean,
Yep.
her head and shoulders, she shrugged.
Yep.
But she shrugged right down to the 200, which is the healthiest drop you're going to get. I mean, she tagged underneath it, came back up for air.
Yeah.
I would expect something here. The chart looks like it.
Yeah, so it looks like we are consolidating a little bit between like the 0005 and 0006 area. So I mean, we have bounced up. I mean, this is the daily. So if we go to the 4-hour, yeah, see, we're just kind of bouncing up and down. It can jump up to the 0007, but I don't know exactly all the ins and outs of what it costs to trade OTC, but I'm assuming this is from 0005 to 0007, that's a good
I see what
gain.
you're saying.
But is it worth it?
It's about $4 to $7, depending where you're at. $4 to $7.
So I'm you do the math. Is it worth it to do that?
It all depends. When you're buying 000, though, you normally have hundreds of thousands of shares. Okay. So hopefully, but yeah, that's the problem with OTC. You've always got to work in the transaction fees. And in case you didn't know it, folks, when you make a purchase, they average in your transaction fees into the average of your price. So when you're looking, now the problem is I have been on Schwab and TD. I buy a lot of sub penny stocks, but they can't show me sub penny stocks on Schwab or TD. Every stock shows 1 penny is what I paid for it. Every stock gives me a price averaged out to 1 penny. I have to go back and actually look at my purchases to see what my average price is. So yeah, sub penny stocks are treated a little bit differently. You may have to do more work trading these stocks, and keeping in mind, yeah, you got to pay to get in and pay to get out.
So this is the 1-hour chart since the end of February or February 22nd. we have made it to the 0007, but mostly it's between the 0005 and 0006.
Looks like volume is disappearing.
And there's no volume at all. I mean, there was a lot of red volume.
Which is what we said, right? She fell from 14 down to 1,
Yeah.
and to have a 14 average, it must have been a lot higher than that before.
Yeah, but this Head and Shoulders I don't like, but we're gonna have to, like, I mean, if we drop below this 200, especially on the daily chart, it's probably the most important. Like if we go down to the 0004, we could go back to this like we've been doing here, back at the end of October, like the end of last year.
Yeah, unless you know something about this stock, I would only see it as a technical play unless there's some rumor, because I don't see any value in the stock. Again, unless you know something we don't, I don't see anything here.
Because they're not reporting earnings or anything. I haven't seen any, like, there's no reports or any of the, I mean, that I can see on TradingView anyway. So there's really not that much to say about.
I'd be very cautious with this stock, because if she drops, she could stay down at 0004 for months, and you're just going to have your money tied up if you bought at 0005.
Right.
Because that is 20% loss as soon as she goes from 0005 to 0004. That's 20% gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So go on to the next one.
Good luck to you, buddy. Nothing personal to whoever brought that in. We're just playing with the stocks.
Okay. Now we're on Kashara's EEENF.
I remember EEENF from a while ago. I don't know. Was it 6 months, a year, 18 months? I don't know. But I do remember this stock for some reason. EEENF, 88 Energy, finished today at 0045, almost a half a penny. And she is up 11.11. She is on the pink tier as well. She has no validated information. And would you believe she has independent directors listed? You don't know what that means? When you list independent directors, first you have to have independent directors if you're going to uplist. Independent directors have no investment in the company. They are not management. They are outside of the company so that they can give unbiased advice. And lots of people like independent directors because that's the level head of the business. So you got to have those. Then if you're going to uplist on the OTC, this site, you got to list them here when you're serious. That means somewhere in one of their filings, they have filed that. So they look like they want to uplist. Where? Could just be to the QB, but that's a hell of a lot better than the pinks. So they tell us down here, 88 Energy is an Alaska-focused oil exploration. Yeah, they're still doing it up there. And appraisal company across 440,000 net acres on Alaskan Central North Slope, with a diversified portfolio of 4 highly prospective project areas. Of course, there's going to be a lot of information about those areas and what the potential is, and we don't have time for all of that. Let's see, I did find some information here, or did I not? No, and I think that's exactly why. Let me check my notes here. No news, no financials, no filings. This is concerning, folks. Now, when I say no news, well, you know what that means. But literally, they've had nothing since 2022. Financials. Nothing since 2021. Look at our quarterlies. 2022. They're not even listing 2023. We're talking years back, and we're pink. You can't go too long without filing financials before you get kicked off and thrown onto the OTC. So we've got no financials here. How about the balance sheet? Well, does it really matter? That's back in June of 2022. If you're curious, back in June of 2022, they were holding equity. We had stockholder equity of 82 million back then. But what is it right now? Well, maybe we've got some disclosure, some financials over here. Last financial was filed in 2022 for 2021. There's nothing here. There are no filings. To verify that, I jumped around to a few places, but I've pulled up one here. No revenues, 2022, 2021, 2020. There's nothing. There is no news. You go over to the news, nothing comes up here. So what can I tell you? If they're not going to tell me anything, I don't want anything to do with you. Communication is the first thing. So why anybody would buy this stock in the first place, you might as well play darts in the dark with a crowd of people in the room. It's just silly. Again, though, unless you know something from a Twitter account, there are some companies that hate news, don't want to do anything and put something on Twitter. But that you can't put your financials on Twitter. Those got to be over here. But why are they up here? Who do they know on the OTC that allows them to stay up on the open market, pink, not even pink limited, without any validated information? And they haven't had a filing or a financial in 2 years. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It confuses me. And I'm not going to go anywhere near a stock that confuses me. And I don't know anything about this. I haven't done a deep dive, and I wouldn't. If I'm already confused at this point, so I don't have anything to tell you except maybe relative volume is way up. No, I'm really confused. Why is it up? What drug are you guys on? She jumped from 11 million as an average over the last 30 days to over 38 million today.
So today was actually their expected earnings report. I don't see anything that was reported, but today was their expected earnings, so that could have been a part of it.
And see, if you're going to be late, it is a requirement that you file some late filing. They didn't file anything like Kaval today. Kaval, Kaval, they filed an NT10K. They were late. That gives them 5 days. For some dumb, bloody reason, that got everybody excited. They're late filing their financials. That went up 200% today on a late financial, and it isn't even out yet. So when the financials come out in 5 days, good or bad, where's the chart going to go? It already took off. What's left to take? Kind of strange. So is that obviously here, bring up your chart because I got nothing else over here to show you.
Okay, so this is on regular candles because I wanted to see, we had
that's regular candles.
These are regular candles.
See? Wow, that's a lot of trading.
The Heikenashis are, I didn't like this because there's just too many wicks. So I wanted to see what the regular
candles. That's a lot of red on the Heikinashi, and that's normal candles, all that green.
Yes. So see, this is what happens. So for those, some people don't know, and it doesn't mean you're stupid or anything, but we opened here and closed here. So, we started at the 200 on the daily and came all the way up here. Now this day we opened here, closed down here. And then from between Tuesday, the 20th of February to Wednesday, we gapped way up and opened here, closed down here. So closed at around 0038, opened at 005, and then closed
about 50%,
down
roughly 50% run.
Now another very odd thing.
That was a breakout move too. That was the breakout move.
It was, and we had some more like it would. We closed we had a really green day on the 14th, so that was last week, and then we opened up even higher, but then it came right back down.
I hate the stock, but I like the chart. I really like the chart.
Yeah, and so and I drew this because this was a big resistance, and now, as you can see, it turned into a support, and that is at 00035. So you see where this was a resistance here. Now it's
I see she's bounced off for 50, broke through the 200 multiple times. That's how you know a breakout's coming. She didn't hit it in retreat. She's beating on that until she gets level ground. And what is that 200 doing right now? Going level. Now would be the time for the breakout to occur. Forget about everything else. Technicals are a catalyst. If the chart says I'm hot, you can get burned if you don't play it or you don't sell. Doesn't matter what the news is. This chart I like. That looks good.
Yeah, and also if something just doesn't look right to you on Heikenashii candles, switch to the regular candles. If it doesn't look right on, I'm serious, because you can see more information on different types of charts. I mean, you can.
Right. I used to do that with my wife. We had a brunette wig. When I got tired of her blonde hair, I put that bad boy on her, and it was all good.
There was one really odd thing I saw. There was a stock split in August. This is a forward split, 77 for 76. Very strange ratio there. I don't understand it.
This company has got me guessing about
I don't know what
everything.
the heck that's about. I've never seen anything like
What's the
that, but
short term?
that's a forward split.
What's the short term chart look like on this?
So here's 1 hour. Let me
Yeah,
go to
come on down to
Heikinashi.
the 15.
I
Yeah, that's
a 15-minute Heikinashi. So here's like my
uh,
support line that I have.
to me, that looks like the kettle is getting hot and the popcorn is starting to pop, and we
Yeah.
could see a lot of popcorn here.
Yeah, and this level right here, like at the 004, that was a pretty good one. That's a big resistance. That
But
was
again, it's all
one
technicals.
support here.
I don't see any catalyst, any value. I don't see any news. So we are trading in the dark. The chart is the only thing I would pay attention to on this
Yeah.
company. Outside, once the chart turns, I'm going to turn away from EEE and
Yeah.
F. And
Yeah,
I think we
so
should,
the high I've seen, the like more most recent kind of thing in February was the 005. Right now we're what 0043, so you know.
all right, look at the 5-minute because I see a big rip there on that on today. She's definitely, as far as I'm concerned, she is watch list worthy. She's
Mhm.
gotten through the 200. The 200's climbing. She keeps beating on the 200. She keeps getting above it, and she's showing strength. And that was some positive volume today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
The
a
only
lot of
reason,
movement happens right at market open. Like this was 8:30 Central Time, which is 9:30 Eastern. You can see how much movement we had. A lot.
ooh, oh, I didn't even see that wick all the way down there.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So like market open on these, like they'll have a lot of movement. Let's see what this one was. Yeah, this was another one. See how this one has a big long wick? That was
Ah,
8:30
so you may
Central.
want to
So
watch for that
that's
as a
market
buying
open.
opportunity. Be there early.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure your day
Yeah.
trade is for pre-market or aftermarket trades. You'd hate to have it done perfectly, and because you forgot a detail, you missed your order.
Yeah.
And you can see it drop real fast, and it is a gamble. It is a gamble, but you could pick it up down there, and as soon as she pops back up, you could sell before the bell opens. You've made a profit. You could take that day
Yep.
off.
Yep.
All right, let's
So
jump into the
there you
next
go.
one. We are just after 5 o'clock here. Thanks for staying late, folks. Not that we have a bedtime here, but we try to stick around an hour, but we can go as long as we want. All right, we are taking a look at, is it from Velmore? Lease, Leas, Strategic Asset Leasing. Now, what I remember reading here is took a little diving around. All right, they did a reverse merger a while back with, okay, who did? Lease Strategic Asset did a reverse merger with A New Medical. Lease merger or Lease Strategic is gone. They're really not here anymore. It is A New Medical.
Right.
FINRA won't change their name. They can't get their name changed. This can be a big problem. I've seen companies actually get pulled off the market because they asked for a name change. This is a big deal. Things have to be validated in the right form. So they have that problem going on right now. So we're still dealing with lease. However, now where was that other piece of information? However, they just did another merger. They merged with a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. This is a company that comes onto the major exchange without any revenues, no business. All they do is secure a ticker. Then they start selling tickets for the business they're going to get. They get all this money in, and then they go look for a company that wants to be on the major exchange. Maybe they're private, maybe they're on the OTC. Somebody wants to go up there. Well, they make a deal, a merger. That company they merge with, all that money that they were getting selling shares goes to that new company as an investment into them. This company did a merger with Redwoods Acquisition Corp. And from what I was reading, I guess she was saying this is supposed to change tomorrow. Now, I was looking around to see how you know that. I couldn't find it, but we have been given a heads up. Well, they are getting $54 million out of this deal. This company gets $54 million to play with, to work with. This is their money for uplisting. Isn't that great? You get paid to uplist. The combined company will operate as New Medical and expects to remain listed on the NASDAQ. Now, I didn't see anything here about them finally changing their symbol, It
Sorry.
says it's going to be A New Medical, so the name should change. It should not be Strategic Asset Leasing. It should be A New Medical, and I'm guessing the ticker's still going to be LEAS until they get it changed. So let's see what else I had. We had some news over here. Okay, going all the way back to 2022. As soon as A New Medical came into it, this is the first piece of news. They acquired 5 drug approvals with manufacturing in Europe, which means they should be making revenues. They acquire worldwide license to treat neurodegenerative diseases. That was in December of 2022. The company receives notification of issuance of Alzheimer's gene therapy patent. They're doing a lot here. They are making headway. Lots of different conferences. You got to love a company that takes the time to tell you they're going to a conference. These aren't normally investor conferences. Emerging Growth probably is. I think both of these are. These conferences are to stir up business, whether it be from investors or people who are going to use their services or products. Gene therapy candidate for lateral sclerosis demonstrates bioactivities in marine model. Things are going well. And the very last piece of news I just got done reading to you, that was all the way back in June of last year. That's the most recent piece of news. We don't have anything beyond that. Looking at our disclosures, we got anything recent?
Nothing from February
No,
at all?
nope. Even
Oh.
our filings, September 2022. We don't have
Wow.
anything.
Okay. This is very weird, but all
We
right.
don't have any filings that came out or disclosures in February. The last one was November. So we have nothing that has come
That's
out since
wild
then.
to me, but okay.
So the heads up here from our viewer, and it was Belmore, she says she expects for some reason or another that this should be closing tomorrow. So that would be a huge catalyst. Now, in saying that, closings aren't as much a huge catalyst as you would think. The first time you hear about a deal, a letter of intent, an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, we met at Starbucks, had coffee, and talked about it. That is normally the biggest bounce. Then they bring up news. Yeah, we've signed a letter of intent now. We are serious. A good size bounce, but not as big as the first one. Then a few weeks or months go by and they finally close the deal we've all been waiting for, and you get a hiccup. That's it. And it's like, well, what? And then it falls. Everybody says, well, the excitement's over. Let's find a new party. And they pull their money and people sell. And you wait for the floor and then it starts to climb. And you see that with a lot of SPACs. I'm sorry to say, you see them maybe the first day they go nuts and that's it. And they fall. We've seen a lot of them, and it's a sad state of affairs. And as it states right now, Lease is at 0064. She's up 3.25%. Pink Limited, not in a good position. Is she going to escape? Is she going to get out of here and go straight to the NASDAQ and not have to deal with this? Because she hasn't got out, and it looks to be only her last filing. Is it 2322? 963. That one's there. 12.9. 322. Yeah, it looks like only the last one is missing. Why the heck? They're in trouble for the most recent financial being late. And we just looked at a company that hasn't had a financial in years, and they haven't got Pink Limited. I don't get this stuff. So if this does close tomorrow, they should be up on the NASDAQ. I'm presuming it will still be this ticker. You may have to look for it under its new name. If you come over here, if they've changed the ticker and you put in Lease up here, it won't tell you the new ticker. You've got to go do some work and find out. So if they do that tomorrow, she'll be on the NASDAQ, out of hot water, have $54 million in her pocket to do whatever she wants. And that's what she'll be trading in front of an entirely new group of people. People who have money, people that are looking at stocks that have value. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I'm interested to see what's going to happen there. Her share structure is very high. She's got 1 million shares, 1 billion shares, and the insiders only own 5 million. 5 million out of 1 billion shares. And we got all of those in the float. Market cap is only 6 million. What was her volume today? Dropped a little, going from 8 million down to 6 million. So we've got catalysts, or do we? We've got information. Heads up, maybe. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, Raw. Let's take a look at that chart.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
something is going on because I was looking back here from last fall. We had this. This is a 0019. We had support, 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 and then became resistance, resistance, resistance. And then February, look at this, all the way up to 0063 from 0019. That's why I'm wanting to know what in the world was going on. Because that is a big jump. That's what, more than 200%?
That's a rip and a half.
Yeah. So I am not sure. Like the 1 hour was nice.
I'm checking while you're looking. I'm going to see if I can find something.
We like level off, we run, we level off, we run, we're leveling off. I mean, we could just keep on doing this stair step. This 1 hour here. I don't know what happened in February, but someone, like I always say, someone knew something because that just, we also, let me go back to the 4 hour real quick. So like you can see in February, you know, we had little volume, then a ton of volume. That's why this is an enormous run just within a matter of days.
I'm looking elsewhere. I can see no catalyst. I see no news on their site, nothing on Google, nothing.
I mean, that's less than 2 weeks time. We went from 0019 to 0046. That's more than 100% gain.
Yep.
So I don't know, but this, I mean, it's stair stepping up.
Interesting.
And with no catalyst, I don't even know what to say here. I mean, the chart looks great.
I guess the catalyst, if people are keeping in touch, if there's a tweet somewhere that says the deal's closing, they will be on the NASDAQ. And that is a catalyst in itself. Getting the hell off the pink and getting up onto the NASDAQ, that's going to be outstanding. I'm curious to see what happens with the share count. You know, normally after a merger, shares change and their share count sucks. And you're not used to seeing a billion shares up on the NASDAQ on a low price stock.
I mean, look at this gap up. This is, if I look on, I'll even turn these off so you can see it better. Regular candles, look at this big gap up between February 21st and February 22nd.
How far? I can see it, but I can't measure it.
So we closed at 0029 and then opened at 004. I mean, it overnight gap.
That's about 30% gain.
Yeah, a gap up. I mean, complete gap up. We did have, you know, a lot of movement that day, but that's a big gap up.
What's the short chart look like for our day traders?
Say what? Oh, 15
yeah,
minutes?
A short chart, because we're only dealing with day traders. Most
I
of these
know,
people
but I like to look at big picture too.
Well, she's going sideways, but she's climbing actually.
Go back.
Oh yeah. I knew something looked naked. Thank you for that.
Sorry about that. Well, I wanted to. I like to see the gaps. That helps me see what's going on. So right now we're kind of just like hanging out here, but we did have that. Here's another move here. This was the major move.
Yeah, back towards today.
This is towards today. Yeah. This is like
I'm saying,
Monday. This is this week.
See it. It seems to me she wants to float. You know, I would think, oh, she's going to fall back down to the 200, but those big red bars, especially that one with that wick, with the wick to me tells me that red bar, I'm going to climb now. To me, that's like building a bridge, putting a pillar deep down into the ground so your bridge doesn't wobble because you're going to build it up. To me, that is a pillar, and she is going to start climbing now. And the deeper they go, the higher it's going to climb. So right now, based on that technical, I'd be watching for a serious surge.
Yeah. Yeah, and all these EMAs are lining up on this 15 minute. So this is looking like it's climbing. This looks like we've got a little bit of resistance here on the short-term chart at 0065.
You got a mini cup and handle there.
Yeah, we do. This is one here.
Yep, that's the one I saw.
Yep, right there. Yep.
So she's looking good for a run to me. You think she's going to climb there, Taylor? I mean, does she look promising to you?
I mean, like we have been climbing. So, like what Belmore was saying, if there is this other catalyst, then yeah, we could continue to climb. Right above that, we're at that resistance right now that I was pointing out. See, we're even beyond what it was before. You know, this high here.
Yeah. She's in new
So
territory.
yeah, so absolutely, I could see it keep climbing. Sure, sure.
There you go. Another one for your watch list. What time is it? We are 5:15. Not doing too bad. How many have I got left here? Oh, more than I wanted. Okay. We are looking at C3IS, or is it 3 C3 is? I don't know. C3 ISIS. This is ticker CISS. This is not a sub penny stock. She is actually in the pennies at 3 cents. Oh, problem is she's on the NASDAQ. You can't be under $1 for too long in the NASDAQ. If you're under $1 for too long, you'll get a warning from the NASDAQ. Get your price up. Has to close over $1 10 days consecutively. If you close over $1 for 10 days, you're out of hot water. We can do it all over again. If you don't, they'll throw you down to the OTC. And that hurts. That hurts a lot. So we need to go through the filings, and it could be just the last week. It could have been 2 months ago. You never can tell when they got contacted by the NASDAQ, if they got contacted. Looking at the chart, you can normally get a heads up. Normally it used to be 6 months, but here recently, 30 days is enough to piss the NASDAQ off. And they say, you've been under $1 for 30 days. Get it up or you're out of here. But they give you 6 months to get it back up. It's not like you only got a week. You got 6 months to do it. But you can see a lot of stocks fall really farther, a lot farther in 6 months. So she had just about 1/3% up today. She was kicking. C3IS is a provider of international seaborne transportation services to dry bulk charterers, including major national and private industrial users, commodity producers, and traders. This is a company over in Athens, Greece, by the way. Let's see what I've got picked up for this company. All right. First thing, we might as well dive into this. This is a 13D. Okay, now 13D is a silent investor. I do believe that's right. And 13G is the active investor. Well, this person put a lot of money in, and I couldn't find out exactly what's going on here. Imperium Petroleum, 74.8%. 75% of the company. Now, there's a lot of information down here. I was reading it. Most of it wasn't making a lot of sense to me. Then I saw this, and I don't know what to make of this. I'm bringing it to you so that you can do more DD. The reporting person that invested in the securities described in this Schedule 13D is in connection with the spinoff distribution. Spinoff distribution. What spinoff? Do we have a subsidiary spinning off? Is there a merger going on that I'm not aware of? What spinoff? That's what caught my attention. Not to mention, it's a huge purchase. 75%. And I couldn't get any information. Is there a merger? Is this just an investment? What the heck? That is actually a change of control, except it's a 13D. He doesn't want to be in control. He just wants you to take his money and build it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but it's a big deal. We got news here on the 15th. The company announces receipt of NASDAQ delisting determination. There's our answer there. We've got some information about this. Let's see, right here. The company on March 14th received a letter, March 15th from the NASDAQ saying, and this is ridiculous, we're talking about being under $1. They got a letter saying they were under a dime. I have never seen a NASDAQ letter saying you're under 10 cents. So here's a NASDAQ stock. They get a letter saying they're under 10 cents. However, yes, 10 cents is under $1. So yes, they were breaking that rule too. They brought that up down here. Duh. So they got two rules they're breaking here. They were going to delist the company. And the way you really fight this is, one, get your price up. That's our job. Can we get it up over $1? If we fail, the only thing the company can do is a reverse split. We don't want them to do that. So then you do a stall tactic. And I do mean stall. You appeal it, and that freezes everything. You can't be thrown off until your appeal is heard. And they tell you right here that the typical appeal takes 30 to 45 days. They had until March 22nd. They were given 1 week to appeal it. They say they appealed it. They got the paperwork in time. So that means they will not be delisted whenever it was supposed to be. They are in a hold right now. They're not out of hot water.
I
But this
thought they
was
only had 90 days to get back over a dollar. Was that, or where am I getting that information?
not everyone I read is 6 months,
Oh,
180 days.
6 months.
180 days is what
Okay.
they normally say. Um,
Okay. Well, I'm a little confused. I'll show you. Well, you'll see it.
let me see. So that's that point. And what else did I have here? Oh, March 26th, they are having a
20.
podcast or a phone meeting or whatever the heck it is here. They are reporting the results for their fourth quarter, 12 months of 2023. You need to jump into this piece of news to see exactly if it's a phone number or if it's a site. I'm not quite sure, but they tell you that is going to happen. You got to remember, this is from Athens, Greece. So if it's a phone number, it could be a bit tricky. And if it is talk, it may be in Greek. So you may not understand what's even being said. I'm just saying, there's that possibility. So what was the relative volume around the company today? She's getting some excitement, jumping up 10 million from 15 million up to 25. Share structure, we haven't got a bloody clue here how many shares are in this company. And I think I tried to find it. Normally, I would come down through here looking for a 10K or a 10Q. I showed you that box. I just find all that information and I get my share count right there. Well, because this is a foreign company, they don't have 10Ks and 10Qs. They have Fs, F20s, F something else, and they're not easy to read. Oh my God, you're talking about some of the biggest documents you're ever going to read, and they don't even lay them out the same. So I wasn't able to find out what the share count is. So I have no clue. May want to jump over to, do I still have that up? You may want to jump over to Yahoo Finance, see if they can give you some information on that. Let's see what else we got here.
Was there anything from like January 18th? Was there some news, bad news, or something?
January 18th.
Or
January.
19th?
There's November, February. Well, bad news, so I know what I'm looking for. January. Yeah, they had a public offering. Nobody
There
likes
you
some
go.
bloody public offerings.
There we go. All right, that makes sense.
Yep. Let me see. Files to sell 43 units of common stocks and warrants. Yeah, see, they're making money here. They had a public offering for 7 million. Then they were reselling 43.7 million more shares and warrants. An underwritten public offering of 6 million. That's more from us. See, they're getting money from us. So I didn't even go back that far, but you can see that the company has been grabbing us up. And this is all since December. That's 2 public offerings already in 3 months for $13 million. And that is loading up the shares. We have no idea what the share count is, but they're adding more and more and more onto it right now. I wish we did know that. I would like to know the share count. That's something I do find important to know. But what I did want to point out over here, and we don't have time to go through them all, look at all of these 13Ds. There are a lot of them here. And that's what I noticed when I was looking for the 10K. A lot of investors have come into this company. I haven't gone through them. I have no idea if those are big or little, but normally you find them between 5 and 10% over and over and over again. So let's take a look at the chart now for ticker CISS.
Okay, I'll try to get through this quickly. So the reason I was asking about the dollar, we have not seen $1 since July up here. All right, that's really wild.
That's a long time ago. Wow, they got away with murder.
So this was the public offering we were talking about. This is the daily chart on regular candles, so we could see all this. So we dropped from about 37.5 cents all the way down to 14 cents. That's
Over
a big drop.
60%. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of came back up, but this gap is still pretty big. I mean,
yeah, she still hasn't done dropping, still falling. But look at the volume coming in.
We have another gap here between about almost 8 cents all the way to about 3 cents. It hit a low of, just around 2.4 cents. We are not looking good. Look at this, is 4 hour here. Okay. regular candles. I'll switch to Hikanashi so we can see. This is ugly. This is
Now,
Bear Flag City if I've ever seen one. I mean, this is what we're dealing with now. This is not good. We've got gaps on gaps on gaps. We haven't seen $1 since July, and we're not even at 3 cents. Or no, we're not. Yeah, we're like right at what, 3 cents ish.
okay.
Yeah, 3 cents.
Yeah, there is no more information. I'm looking around to see if maybe something was somewhere, bad news, because that is continually dropping well, I
Crazy
think
drops.
a lot of those drops came because people were worried about the delisting. You're going to drop off, and there was news about it. We have been notified about a delisting. It wasn't until the next piece of news they said we're going to appeal it. But I don't think anybody's excited about that either, because she just took another tumble.
Yeah, that daily chart is scary.
Yeah, that doesn't look nice at all.
No, it's just not good. 3 cents. I took a look over here just to on another chart. 52-week low was 2.45 cents. 2.5 cents is its 52-week low. 52-week high was $20.
Looks like she's just rolling downhill. I don't see
wild.
I don't see any life for her
and
right now.
I didn't see any reverse splits or anything, so I don't know what's going on.
And if they don't get their price up over $1 between now and their appeal, the appeal was just a waste of time. I mean, the whole point is we got one way or the other. The price has to get over $1. And we don't know what the share count is, but that is the best solution for the company. Let me tell you, you don't want to come down to the OTC. It's a lot of work. It's a lot more money to get back onto the NASDAQ once you've fallen off. It's easier to take it from the investors and just do a reverse split if they have the shares. I have no idea what their share count is.
Since January, we've gone from about 37, 38 cents down to 3 cents since January. That's insanity. Not good. I don't know what's going on. There was the public offering there, this one, but this is not looking pretty at all.
Unless you're invested in it, this might be a great time to average down.
Could be.
I expect if she does fall off of the NASDAQ to the OTC, you can expect more droppage in her price. So I wouldn't be in too big of a bloody hurry. You may want to buy some because she could bounce. She could surprise you and you'll say, darn, why didn't I buy any there? But she could go lower. If she falls to the OTC, we got a lot more bottom to go. All right, we are closing in on 5:30. I don't think we're going to get to PTPI, but I think I can squeeze in one more. You think we can do that, Taylor?
I think we can do one more.
All right. Yep. Sorry, I tried, buddy. All right, we are looking at Regals. This is ticker RGLS, Regalus Therapeutics. Finished today at $2.78, up over 11%, and she is on the NASDAQ. So let's see if we can figure out what this company does. Regulus Therapeutics is a biopharmaceutical company focused on discovery, development, and innovative medicines targeting microRNAs. Regulus has leveraged their special drug and discovery development and the expertise to develop a pipeline complemented by, so we don't have anything specific there. They're an R&D company, I am presuming. We are going to come back to this news when it makes sense. Let's see. They're not making any money. We got no money coming in right now at all. So R&D, research and development, meaning they're spending money. They got to get money coming in, public offerings, big investors. They've got money in the bank. They got about 25 million, 37 million in assets. Total liabilities is only 8.2. So we do have, 9.4. Read the right line. Still, we have positive stockholder equity of about 28 million in this company. What else did I find about this company? Let's look at the news. All right, being R&D, you're always interested in their pipeline. What have they got in trials? What trial are they in? Stage 1, just seeing if it's safe. That takes a year. Stage 2, is your drug working? That can take 3 years. Stage 3, is your drug better than your competitors? That can take up to 5 years, if not more. Well, they announced positive top line data from the second cohort of patients in its phase 1 multiple ascending dose. They're giving more and more and more of the drug, seeing if anybody gets sick or dies from it. What's the maximum dose we can go? It will blow your mind. Honestly, do a study on drug trials and see how many people die a year in drug trials. You're not going to believe it. It is in the tens of thousands. You're not going to believe it. So we're not killing rabbits anymore, but yeah, they are in phase 1, seeing if this drug is safe. They are increasing the dosages right now. And so far, top line data, everything looks good. And this is for the treatment of autosomal dominant cyclistic kidney disease. More diseases than we can shake a stick at. And then on the 12th of this month, the company announces an oversubscribed 100 million private placement of equity. Thank God. Public is me and you. Private is behind the scenes. Got nothing to do with us. So they got $100 million from somebody else. And I think I had that news up. I don't know if I actually had anything we wanted to say about it. We can go this way.
And that was on the 12th. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was on the 12th. The company expects to receive gross proceeds of approximately 150 million. The closing of the financing is subject to conditions. Now, what I noticed here is that these aren't common shares. It's a new share they have created, Class A6 convertible, and they're getting these shares cheap. They are common shares, but the common shares are being converted as soon as they buy them. You see the price of our shares, $2.78. They are buying those same shares at $1.60. They get a real good price, and they tell us then they are going to be converted into these Class A6 convertible shares. So that's where they're getting their money from, but that puts $100 million into their pocket. Relative volume for the company today, she dropped a lot too, from about 6 million down to 1.5. That's about 75% of her volume she lost there. Share structure for Regulus. Hey, that's not bad. Outstanding share count is just about 20 million. We don't know what the float is, but I'll take it, 20 million. Now, the float can be a lot less than that, never higher than that. So we could have a real decent float here. Market cap, we're at about 50 million. Disclosures for the company. Nope. Financials, don't let me skip them. Oh, we already looked, right. They were an R&D company. And we do have a recent 10K. Now, we know there's no money here. I don't think that one actually showed up on the books here. March. No, shoot. Their other one isn't here either. So that would be a good one to dive into. If you want to learn about the company's drugs, what they're going through, you'll find all the information. You could go through every news press if they put out a news press for every single one of them. But we're not going to find any money in there, but you'll find out all the people who invested in this company, who's invested, how much that they've got into it. Got a couple 13Gs here. Hey, that just came out yesterday. Let's take a look at that. SG is Active Vivo Opportunity Fund has just bought themselves 7.7% of the company. 13D, this is a silent partner. Growth Equity has just got them about 10% of the company. Anytime you see somebody investing, there's more down there. And we got Form 4s here. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. Now, because they can do it a lot of different ways, we're primarily looking for a P in this code. That would be a purchase. An S would be a sale. Any other letter, God only knows. You can come down here under the explanation, and they'll normally give you some definition if it helps. I think we've pretty much covered Regulus, except for the chart. That's your territory, Taylor.
Okay. So that was really interesting about the 12th, because here's what happened. We closed at around $1.39 on the 11th, and went all the way. We wicked up. It didn't close, but we wicked all the way up to 379 that day. The next day after it, that announcement.
Ooh, yeah.
Crazy. So, and now we've stayed above this gap. We haven't come back down. And we did have an earnings report today after hours. Wasn't favorable. They did not report any revenue, but people liked it. Because if you look on the 4-hour chart, you can see this is 4-hour chart. We can see people so whatever they were saying, they must have talked about,
Right, projections maybe,
some
trial,
projections and stuff.
something.
Or maybe it's not showing me. It might not be showing me everything, but it did have favorable. Let's see. Let me go to Heikenashi's here. So yeah, here we go. So this is like leading up to the earnings, but this was what happened when they had that announcement. Here we go.
That's what
This is on
100
the 1
million will
hour.
buy you.
So yeah, now we're just
Wow.
kind of so this is
I would be suspect that she may try to push from right where she's at now, which is a real nice placement, back towards that. I don't think she'll reach it initially, but I think she may cover half of it. I think she
because
shows the
we're
potential to
near
get half
this
of that.
area, which was, I mean, this was a good area right here.
Half would get her up to where? About 330?
It went all the way up to 379.
So 330 would be about halfway from where she's at.
330 would be like right here.
That's where I'm thinking it'll probably push through before she flutters, and then we'll have to see again, take another look. But yeah, that's quite exciting.
Very. Yeah, that's why I was like, what happened on the, so there was news. It wasn't just a random thing. So that's good.
I'd probably jump that high if I had 100 million.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's about it for that. Yeah, and it is on the NASDAQ and all that. So I mean, we were hanging out here below, in the dollar.
Oh yeah, she was flat there. She was just rolling across the floor like a drunk. She wasn't looking appealing at all. But now
very
she's
appealing.
Looking
almost, we almost have a cup and handle style on the 1 hour. Little bit.
That spells potential. That definitely spells potential. It's definitely worthy of your watch list for whatever is going on.
A little bit,
she was showing strength, and that last rip, that ultimate high she set, that's a new high that is on the algorithm's chart now. That is there, and it is now going to be worked into it. Yes, we trade, but everything works in harmony. So I would be looking for a good push. And if they can come up with some piece of news to just give it a little extra, this could be juicy.
Yeah.
Well, good. Folks, that is a lot of extra time.
Don't put just me on there. Come on. Hey.
I'm not used to having my lady look me in the eye. When I did something wrong, I didn't have to look at you. Now it's like, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, folks. No, we did not get to that PTPI. I was tossing it around in my head, underdog. I was. I don't think you've ever been skipped before. We apologize. Do not be expecting a part 2 from me and Taylor this week. Remember, I've got that interview with ticker FLES, Auto Parts for Less, the CEO, Chris Davenport, this weekend. I'll be doing it on Saturday. It will be out on Sunday by all rights. Everything goes good as it normally does. So there won't be a part 2. So we're not going to be able to cover the rest of these stocks. See, we had more people come in. Thebes, I'm appreciating all of your comments. I appreciate the tickers you brought, even though we didn't get to them. I see we had a lot of talking down here with Jay Pong. You do like the talking. I love a talker. I'm a talker. We had some more conversation down there from SVEG Jid and Mark. Happy Thursday to you too, Mark Ryan. Appreciate you being here. Michael Anthony dropped in. Job paid off all the debt. Oh, he's got some information there for us. Yeah, folks, I said it before, but I'm going to say it one more time. Go through my comments. Pick these tickers up. These are tickers that I request to be brought to me. I was asking for some tickers with juice, some tickers with heat. Not everybody brings a hot ticker, but we do get them. So Look at those tickers. Just because we didn't have time doesn't mean you don't have time. You got the time. Go do your DD. Remember, you ready for this? The more you know, the more you're going to grow. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye-bye.